The investigation unfolds as urgency heightens in Nancy Guthrie's mysterious disappearance.
Where they're over there and where law enforcement is like towing the car or taking the car. But yet when we ask law enforcement about the car and why they took it, they deny it. Yeah. She's like, I'm like, trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. I do. Yeah, there's always a greedy member. But remember, it's always somebody close to the family. I'm going to say 85% of the time. And due to her pacemaker, she may have been on meds. Exactly. They're talking about that. And we're still waiting. That lady, the lady's out there reporting. All right.
The wording is very important. He said they now believe the son-in-law may be the prime suspect. Those are the words. Son-in-law may be the prime suspect at this point. And I'm very mindful. I covered the Elizabeth Smart case. I was out in Salt Lake City for 5 weeks while Elizabeth Smart had vanished. And I recall specifically a lot of language saying Ed Smart is likely the prime suspect here. And so you got to be really mindful that, as you know, Megan, you're a lawyer. Police investigations start in the middle of the circle and they go out in concentric circles in terms of investigating family members, right? You start in the middle of the family, you investigate out from there. Then you go to contractors and friends and workers and everybody else who's had some contact. And then there's the randoms. So it is not surprising that someone in the family is being looked at. That language to me was pretty strident, though.
It's surprising to me because
it's absolutely not surprising to me, especially since we've been covering the Tepe case and they lied to us. Whatever, maybe law enforcement didn't lie, but I think they did, because when they went and reported about it, when law enforcement reported to us about the Tepes, they literally said that Monique was shot once in the chest and her husband was shot several times. We don't know where. That is so far from the truth of what really happened. Now, whimsical, says Brian reported Savannah's asking the kidnappers to contact them. She is ready to talk about the ransom. Who, Brian? Okay. Does anyone want to send me a link on that? I'm still waiting. This lady's waiting also. I hear her going back and forth. Let me take a look.
As there was forced entry. And from the beginning, I thought, well, they must have ruled out the family pretty quickly if this is a case of forced entry, because the family wouldn't need to do that. The family would presumably have a key, and if they didn't have a key and they wanted to get in, they just knock on the door and Nancy Guthrie would open it.
So this is super interesting. And I had a long conversation with my former colleague, Brian Enton, about this.
Okay, now Brian Enton is on the scene right now. And again, Brian Enton is doubling down on what she said, as well as Fox, CNBC, TMZ, all of them. And remember, many people are getting this. Many people are getting these notes, the ransom notes. Why would they send that to a news station? Who did they direct it at? Who's going to pay $2 million in Bitcoin? Did they think that that TMZ was? I mean, again, guys, you got to know that part of it is just a hoax. And yes, I'd love to know the dynamic with the brother-in-law. I looked that up. So let's continue this.
Because Brian identified blood drops at the front door, right? And he's shown the video of it. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
However, my source says the back door is wide open. Back door left wide open. That's what my source said. I had a half-hour conversation 2 days ago.
I watched it.
The sheriff, yeah. And I specifically said, so are you telling me, when you said that she did not walk out of that house on her own, I said, are you telling me that she might have been carried out of that house? And I used the word over the threshold of the front door. And he said, I didn't say front door. But he didn't say no carried. But when he said, I didn't say no to the front door, and then, the next day I'm getting information about the back door, it's pretty safe to say, well, that makes perfect sense. However, why is there blood at the front door? And Brian Enton said he couldn't find the trail continuing past to the walkway that would take you to the driveway. Now it is,
and I'm going back and forth between the news that they're still waiting, and you're not convinced the red spots are blood without laboratory confirmation. Interesting. And it could be. I guess I was right since the beginning. A friend of Nancy knew or relative did hope. Oh, poor woman. I can't imagine what she said. Well, listen. Yeah, it seems odd to send a ransom note to TMZ, right? Wait, what did I miss? Where are the police named a suspect? You didn't. We're talking about it right now. She, Ashley Banfield, has a source that she's had over her decades of reporting on true crime, right? And so every other news station is reporting on what she just said. So if you missed it, please go
Rebel,
back.
a little harder maybe to see any blood, but not impossible. So I'm trying to
But
go
couldn't they have
through
gotten
that.
her in the car, Ashley? I mean, like, I'm picturing a scenario where couldn't all those facts be consistent with they came in through the back door,
Yeah,
then they got her, then they brought her out the front door after injuring her.
could.
Then the blood trail continued just to the driveway
Well, it didn't.
where they then put her in a car.
That's the
It
problem.
it ended well prior to the driveway?
Yeah, the blood trail is just at the front door on those tiles. Then the gravel starts right away, and it's a walkway to the driveway, and it's not close. I mean, it's a bit of a ways. Nancy Guthrie can't walk 50 yards, pardon me. Nancy Guthrie can't walk 50 yards on her own, so she would need assistance. And if you're bleeding and you've been in some sort of a melee, that would be even less. So I was going through the scenarios in my mind. Okay, maybe the front door camera is smashed, and the doorbell is rung.
Now we did see that. We saw that they just ripped it off. If you guys have a Ring doorbell, you can see how you take it off to charge it. That's all it was. And I'm going back and forth between this and the news. Right now at the news, they're still waiting for an update. She's literally standing outside waiting and nothing's happening. I also have the Fox News and nothing's happening. So let's listen why Ashley, what her source says about that Drop Dead Serious episode that she had, and everybody's taking the lead from her on. She's describing it right now.
To get Mrs. Guthrie downstairs, because that would be difficult. In the middle of the night, it would get her down those stairs. So the confrontation might happen at the front door, right there at the tiles. There's a struggle. And then because the car is not parked right out front where all that could be visible potentially, maybe the car is around the back, and that's why they go out the back door. And because
Is that a
you're now
possibility?
struggling, I have no idea.
Could a car be
I'm
parked in the
surmising.
back?
I don't know, because I've been trying to see with drone video whether the car could get out into a darker spot or maybe out of camera view because the smashing has to happen. But I was told that the cameras were smashed, and plural. So if there's a camera in the back, camera in the front, smashed. And then, of course, Brian Enton noticed it.
And where did they find the two cameras? Let me bring you back on here real quick. I just want you to see what's going on. Something is going on, and they're going to announce it. And I'm not sure if we'll still be here. We'll try, but look at they keep on doing a mic check. And then after they do a mic check, they go away. Yeah, I'm sure they are. They're not giving us the, I'm going to keep that on so I'll lower the music. That way I can continue talking to you guys. They're waiting. They're waiting. I can hear them. Hold on. Let's turn it up for a minute. Come on. Let's get that breaking news, lady. Don't step out of the way. Come on. Tell us. What do you got to tell us? You see? I mean, they've just been sitting there. Come on. There's 2,610. Hit that like button, would you? Yeah, they're doing a vigil right now. I got that. I'm just not there yet because I want to find out what the update is, and I'm just not finding it. I'm not finding any updates about what they're talking about. All right, so USA Today Live, they got a story, they got a vigil. I feel like I'm gonna miss it if I walk away for a second. But I guess we can look at the vigil real quick since they're not showing much right here. I'll pull this down. Something's happening, guys. And I keep hearing her talk about it. They do a mic check, and then there it is. All right, so this is what's happening like right now. Like they privated it. What? Savannah Guthrie's brother spotted for first time since mom's been missing. And they privated that video right now, folks, that they just did. They hadn't seen him anywhere. They saw Annie, but they didn't see the brother-in-law that is allegedly the suspect. All right. So the alleged suspect, Savannah Guthrie's brother-in-law, it says Savannah Guthrie's brother, Cameron. Okay. They're talking about Cameron was spotted the first time in Arizona for the disappearance. On page 6, he's been stepping out of his vehicle. Oh, I saw him driving up there. Sheriffs say it's too soon to know if Nancy Guthrie's disappearance was a random attack. Sheriff says Nancy's part of our community. Why did they do that? Vigil held right now live, and they privated it. Anyone have any idea why they would do that? All right, let me take a look here. Let me see if I can find the vigil. They have a vigil right now on channel 10. Hold on, let's take a look. But I'm trying to see who the heck is there, what people are there, etc. Because it says a lot. It says an absolute lot when you see who went to what. If someone doesn't show up, someone does show up, someone calls 911. Okay, so they're having a vigil right now. I'm gonna remove. Oh wait, hold on. Who's saying that?
Directly from her family tonight, a very desperate and emotional plea reaching out directly to a possible abductor. They want to know that their mother is alive. Now, in the last few hours, we saw what appeared to be law enforcement agents get out of this suburban and go inside the home. They appeared to be carrying a ring light and a tripod, and perhaps it was used to film this video tonight. Perhaps they were right beside them as they reached out to this possible abductor. They say they're aware of the ransom notes and are ready to talk, but they want to know without a doubt that their mother is alive. And so they're calling on that possible.
So I don't know why they're not lowering that background music, but you hear what they're saying live right now as they're looking at the ransom note and they want to know she's alive before they pay it.
Abductor to get in touch with them, but they're also thanking people for their prayers. Again, this is a community that's really wrapping their arms around Nancy and the entire Guthrie family. They want this woman to come home. They describe her as a kind, faithful, loyal woman and emphasized again what we've been hearing from the sheriff's office, how much she needs her medicine, that she relies on critical medicine for her heart and her health, and she'd be in pain without it. It's unclear if she has that. We know she has a pacemaker, some cardiac issues that we've learned about. So they said that they will not rest until she's home.